Hello and welcome to Abu Dhabi for the final round of the titanic battle between Jenson Button and Love Spuds. The rivalry has been raging all season long, and finally it comes down to this, the one race to decide who walks away with the title. Spuds could have wrapped up last time out in Brazil, but Button took the win to force one final showdown between the two McLaren teammates. The final round is a mix of long straights and twisty technical sections with 21 corners, 2 DRS zones, which could see the potential for a lot of overtakes down into turns 8 and 11. It has to be said though, this is not a strong track for Spuds, and with the momentum going in Button's favour recently, he has got a lot of work to do today to take home that title. So let's have a look at Spuds' lap. As you can see, Button has thrown down the gauntlet with provisional pole. Spuds takes the first few corners pretty well. Sector Fun is the best sector for Spuds on this track, and as we can see, he is 2/10 up on his previous best so far. A little bit under Button's time so far, but he's going to need some miracle in the next couple of sectors to get on pole. But you never know. It's not over until the fat lady sings, as they say. And as we go down the long slog down to turn 8, speed is pretty good in the straight line. Brakes on the 100-meter boards, turns into 8 and 9 pretty well, and gets a decent run onto the second straight that's not so straight. Hits the DRS zone, gets that flap open. And as we go for the second sector line, you can see the earlier small mistakes down before the hairpin come to fruition, as they are 2/10 down on Button's time so far. So coming around this corner there, a little bit of a slide there, that would cost him a little bit more. Had to do a bit of corrective steering, and as we do for the tricky braking down into turn 17 there, goes over the curb a little bit messy, unfortunately. But we'll see as he comes around the few final corners now in the third sector. He needs a bit of a miracle now. Unfortunately, he's not going to get pole. Goes wide on that turn 20 there, going round 21, the final corner. Needs a good run out of here if he is to get anywhere. A bit of corrective steering again, a little bit of oversteer, and third sector's really not good for Spuds there. This could be a bad omen for Spuds, but even if Button wins the race today, Spuds needs to just finish third or higher to claim the title. Spuds can finish fourth, but that will mean they tie on points and race wins, which would then mean it would go down to who has placed the highest in the previous races the most times. Even so, if Spuds can just put his car in front of Button, that will also mean he'll win, so there will be quite a fight today if Spuds can climb up to Jenson. Let's just have a look at the starting grid for the final time this year. So Jenson Button on pole, Verstappen second, Ricciardo third, Spuds fourth. Red Bulls could be a deciding player here today. The Ferraris 5th and 8th, split by the Mercedes pair in 6th and 7th, and the two Williams cars complete the top 10. They are then followed by the Force Indias of Hulkenberg and Perez, with another good qualifying from Pascal Wehrlein in 13th, Sainz 17th, 14th even. Kvyat and Ericsson 15th and 16th, followed by Herianto Gutierrez. The two Renaults start 19th and 20th, with Nasser and Grosjean completing the grid. Now let's get down to business and find out who will be world champion, Button or Spuds. The lights come on for the final times, and the lights are out, and off we go. Button and the Red Bulls get a good start, but a bit wobbly for Spuds off the line as everyone piles into turn 1. Spuds gets it together and goes side by side with Ricciardo, completing the move by turn 2 here. There we are. Beautiful. Spuds now chases after Verstappen, but there's a long way to go this evening. Plenty of strategies to play out over the next 28 laps. Everyone looks like they got away cleanly as we come round into the hairpin. Everyone gets round pretty cleanly, and we're now going down the back straight, the long straight. Here comes Spuds, and he should easily get round Verstappen's Red Bull with that better power unit. It's kind of strange saying that about a Honda, but there we go. Honda gets past Verstappen easily. He's also got soft tyres on, as opposed, well, Verstappen's got the super softs on. Spuds and Button have both got the ultra softs. We'll have to see what sort of strategies they go for this afternoon, but Verstappen does look like he's going to come back on Spuds, but there's not enough straight to do that. So there we go. See the Ferrari in the background also making a move on Ricciardo. Had a bit of a tussle, but yes, the Ferrari has got past Ricciardo there. Ricciardo the big loser as Verstappen and Spuds locks up going round 17 there. It's coming underneath the hotel and round to the final sector of the first lap. Button is getting away. This tussle with Verstappen that Spuds is embroiled in is going to cost him some time as Button flies away. You can see the gap already on the first lap. We have said before that this is not Spuds' strongest track at all. Verstappen is on the super soft tyres, as I say. He will be hoping that 2 McLarens will pit soon, then he can leapfrog them. Although Spuds is holding that plan up at the moment, blocking any attempt from Verstappen so far to maybe make a move. I mean, it'd be alright for Spuds, it'd be alright for Verstappen to get past Spuds, but as Button is getting away, the chances are less and less likely that Verstappen will leapfrog Button in the coming laps. So fast forward in a couple of laps, looks like Button is coming in to replace those worn Ultra Softs. Spuds will take the lead for now, and Button goes in to the pit lane. Let's see what tyres he goes for now. You see the McLaren guys in the pit lane. That should be Spuds, and the rest of the field starting to go past right now. There's someone else in the background as well. But what is he going for? He's going for the Ultra Softs, indicating at least a 2 or even a 3 stop strategy here today. His fate is in the hands of Spuds and the other cars today, but he will do everything in his power to win that championship in what is his final Formula 1 race of his career. Does look like he has come out in traffic, however, and will need to pass these guys quickly if he is to maintain the pace. So back on board with Spuds on lap 5, and he is still trying to fend off Verstappen and now Raikkonen, who has joined in the fray. Maybe able to just see them in the mirror there. You can't quite do that, but Spuds doing well. Spuds getting an update. It seems Spuds is stopping on the next lap when his pit window opens. Currently following plan A so far. So next lap, and Verstappen on his less worn tyres is having a go on the run to turn 8. Both trying to outbrake each other here. But Verstappen has the inside line. Oh, what's he going to do? Yep, Verstappen gets through pretty easily. But Spuds will now have DRS. And what's he going to do here? He has a chance to lunge up to turn 11 here. Always watch Raikkonen in the background. So on board, front nose cone of Spuds as he lunges up the inside of Verstappen and takes that place back. Yes, he has. Yes, he is definitely in front there. There we go. Makes the move stick. Showing Max that he will not give up the lead that easily, even though his Ultra Softs are quite heavily worn now. So we are expecting Spuds to come in to this lap. The McLaren guys are out in the pit lane. Let's just see him peel off. There we go. He comes in. And Verstappen takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Looks like Ricciardo's coming in as well. And one of the Ferraris. See a hive of activity going on in the pit lane. There's a lot of stops going to happen this lap, I think. And what's Spuds going for? Spuds is going for the Super Softs. So he's going for a more conservative strategy this afternoon. Hoping that Button will need to make an extra pit stop. So let's see where he comes out. Does he come out in front of the Sauber? Yes, he does. So, split strategies from the McLaren guys today, and Spuds also gets out in front of Verstappen. So it's Verstappen who came in. Looks like Spuds is going for a longer stint. So he probably is just going for the 2-stop today to mitigate the lack of pace that he has around this circuit. It's back on board with Spuds, lap 7 of 28, and Button is just ahead in 8th. Button has not managed to pass the traffic yet, so he has lost time to Spuds, and he does need to get a move on if he doesn't want to come under threat from Spuds on his fresher tyres. Remember, if Spuds plants his car in front of Button, he will have a big advantage going to later stages of this race. It's another couple of places, so Button's now in 6th, Spuds in 7th. Harionto's just up ahead. Button should surely get past him just now. But we'll see. Look, going for the move. Down into 8. So Button has now been caught by Spuds, who's still not managed to pass. Now his position is under threat from Spuds, who has a look up the inside of 8 while looking up anyway. As you saw just then, Spuds can sense an opportunity here with Jensen caught up in traffic. He lunges up the inside. Oh, that's a very bold move going into 11 there. Manages to not crash into either the McLaren teammates or the Manor. He would have not expected that. Luckily, both cars are unscathed, and that has also helped Button finally get through, but he will not enjoy seeing his teammate in front of him on harder tyres. Button needs to take that position back, and soon. Still good timing for Spuds though, as the Manor and the Renault pulls into the pits, leaving some clean air for Spuds to try and fend off Button as they run into turn 1. He's very close here. But Spuds goes wide. He goes onto the artificial grass, and that leaves the door wide open for Button, who takes the opportunity. And just when he thought Spuds had the advantage, he lets the door open. He leaves the door open. And Spuds will be kicking himself for that mistake, but he holds on to the back of Button. Looks like he can get DRS here. The two McLarens do have great straight line speed, but there's not quite enough straight for Spuds to make a move, especially on those tyres. Jensen's tyres are not quite worn yet. If Spuds can just bide his time, keep on the back of Button, he should be okay. Oh, tries to make a leap up the inside of 11, but still not quite enough room there. Not quite there yet, but Spuds will be hoping that Jensen's tyres will wear away quickly to have a better chance of jumping in front again. As long as he can keep on the back of Jensen, he should be okay. The two Bulls, though, are not too far behind. They will also pounce given half a chance. And as you can see just ahead, it's now the Force Indias that found themselves involved in this battle. They've had a quiet race up until now, but Button will be hoping to dispatch them quickly. They do have Mercedes engines though, so it's not going to be easy on the straights. However, they are on the soft tyres, which are the slowest compound here today, so they are going deep into this race in what is probably a 2-stop strategy, or even a 1-stop, which seems unlikely, but you never know. Spuds looks around the outside of the hairpin to maybe get a better run down the straight. This could get a bit spicy, as Spuds looks like he is under threat from the Red Bulls here. Red Bull coming up the inside as well, you got to watch for him. Oh, Spuds is boxed in. Can he hold it around the outside? Just. Very good racing from the pair there, no contact. And everyone lives to fight another day. But Jensen's inability to pass the Force Indias is really hurting both him and Spuds. But maybe Spuds can pick up pieces from this situation. But all he has to do is get in front of Jensen, and things will be a lot easier for him this afternoon. Jensen really needs to get a move on if he wants this championship. Jensen pulls in for his second stop. He's clearly losing out on that stint and needs to do something. He needs to pull something out of the bag if he is to win today. But what tyres will he go for? Let's see. It can't be another set of Ultra Softs, surely. Just have a look. What tyres have you got there? It's the Red Bull tyres. It's the super soft tyres. Hard to say if these will take him to the end. He may need to stop again, but for now, he's out of that traffic. And where's he going to come out? Let's see. He is out in front of the Renault and the Manor that he was stuck behind after the first stop. So that's one thing. And what's going on here? Oh, Jesus. Red Bulls and Force India of Perez. Ooh, Spuds has gotten past someone in the first sector. Ricciardo went up the inside. Can he hold on? Yes. Yes, he can. And Verstappen is trying to go around the outside here, on board with Ricciardo. You can see the McLaren just snaking around as we go through a chicane. And around into the run down into 15 and 16. Spuds really under threat from the Red Bull here of Ricciardo. Ricciardo has had a very good season so far. He has picked up a few wins this season. He'll be looking for another one here today. If Spuds can't create a gap, he's very close to the back of that McLaren there. He's already won 3 races this season. Don't discount him for a 4th. He always manages to be in the right place at the right time, especially with the McLaren-dominated season that we've had this year. Just waiting for an opportunity to get past Spuds. He does have a quick quar. Quick quar? He's right on the back of Spuds here. Oh, Spuds goes very wide. Yep, he jumped over the curbs. Did you see that earlier? I'm so sorry, I was looking at the notes. He jumped over the curbs, he went so wide. And that left the door open for Ricciardo. And now Verstappen is going to drag race him down the straight. Who's got DRS? They both have DRS. He's going to try and switch back, move to the inside here. So he can late break up the inside. Look at that side by side. Can he do that? Spuds is going to do a switch back. He's going to cut back and gets the better run. And gets past Verstappen again. Smart thinking under pressure there. Just to switch back and get the better run out of that corner. And now Verstappen has to do it all over again. Verstappen will be back though, I'm sure. So that's now Spuds in second from Ricciardo, who is now leading the race. Verstappen's in third and Button is some way back with a lot of work to do. A little bit of a slide into the barrier for Spuds, but does get away with it. Can't afford to lose concentration now as he approaches his pit window. So you can see lap 12:28, nearing the halfway stage here today. It's looking good so far for Spuds, but he just needs to keep his head about him. Doing well. Where is Button? Oh, talking of Button, he sets the fastest lap so far here. So he has got some clean air, I would assume. And he is on the charge. So here comes Verstappen, back for more. To go round to the hairpin. Verstappen will have DRS. Spuds won't. A bit of a disadvantage here. You can see Spuds just trying to cover the inside line here, but Verstappen goes for it anyway. Can Spuds outbrake him? Spuds oh, will he dive up the inside of 11? Not 11. 9 even. Right, well Verstappen's got past again, but Spuds now has DRS. Will he dive up the inside now? Yes he does. Very ballsy move. Firm but fair. Retakes second. The Ferrari Kimi Raikkonen is not far behind either. So back on board with Spuds, lap 13. You can see him just in front of Verstappen there. Ricciardo is making ground. You can see he is no longer in shot there. So many seconds he is up the road. Don't discount Ricciardo for the win today. It's definitely possible. considering how badly the race has gone for Jensen so far, I would not be surprised that Ricciardo can pick up the pieces and secure Red Bull another victory. You can see 4 seconds up the road now. Verstappen is looking to come back again. Again, don't discount the Bulls. That would be a fatal mistake. And that Ferrari, Raikkonen right behind it. Spuds goes over the curbs again. What is he doing? And that leaves the door again wide open for the other Red Bull. I think the pressure's getting to Spuds, you know. I think it is. And that's Spuds down to 3rd. He just has to stay cool. He has to just stay in front of Jenson Button and his title. And this title will be his. Mess up my words as usual. But you know me by now. It's classic Spuds commentary. But here we go. Again, on the run down to 11. What can we do here? It's nothing happening just yet. We're on board with Raikkonen. He's going to make a move on Spuds here. As we go down to turn 8. Tries to outbrake him. Spuds tries to go around the outside for the inside line, and it was just enough there to keep that McLaren ahead of the Ferrari. You can see just in the mirror there, a Ferrari coming back. Spuds makes a lock up on the inside left, gets away with it. You can see how bad the pace is from Spuds in his track. It's not a track that suits him at all, and he kind of wishes that this wasn't the final race of the season. But nonetheless, Spuds comes in to change tyres. So it does look like a Red Bull 1-2 is on the cards here today, especially with Button only being in 6th still. Spuds goes for the soft tyres. That will take him through to the end of the race today. So he is hoping that Button is going to stop again, make the extra pit stop, and then get back in front of him if possible. So Spuds comes back out in 10th behind Verline. Should be able to make a move up the inside, a late lunge. He does like that corner. He's mighty in the first sector, but sectors 2 and 3 is where it all goes to pot. So you've got Rosberg just up ahead there. A couple of laps down the line, lap 16. And we should be making a move on Rosberg pretty soon. He's gone purple in that sector there as well. So Spuds is on the charge. And who's this? It's a Haas. It's a Haas. I can't see who it is though. Someone is out. Can make a guess. I can say maybe it's Grosjean. But you never know. Not without seeing some proof, but I must have edited it out. Only a 1 lap safety, virtual safety car though, and we're back up to racing speed. Can Spuds make a move? He's not going to do it now, he's just taking his time. He's taking his time, choosing his moment, and it looks like this moment is going to be a DRS assisted overtake. Maybe a dive up the inside. What's he going to do? Yep, pretty easy. Up the inside. Ooh, Rosberg tried to hold on there, but no such luck. The McLaren gets through. And the Mercedes quite disappointing this season actually. They've slipped quite far back considering where they were last year. So that Spuds up to 6th now. Hulkenberg is next in 5th. Force Indias have gone deep into this race and they're doing pretty well. But it looks like he's going to fall victim to Spuds in the DRS, and that was easy overtake well before the braking zone into turn 8. Quite an interesting race this afternoon. Still not sure what's going to happen. But it does look like it's going to be a Red Bull victory so far. But don't count your chickens before they're hatched. We're on board. With one of the McLarens, I would assume that is Button on his super soft tyres, chasing after Max Verstappen. What's going to happen here? Button's coming in. Button's coming in. He's going to take his final pit stop of the afternoon. An extra pit stop that Spuds did not need to make. Now it gets spicy. He's hoping for a good stop here. Another set of the super softs, so he will be racy. Remember, Spuds is on the soft tyres. Spuds is on the slower compound. Now, if Spuds has gotten in front of Jensen here, he needs to do everything in his power to keep him behind till the checkered flag. And there goes a Mercedes. 2 Mercedes past. That's Hamilton. So Button has got both Mercedes to overtake here today. And there's Vettel back there as well. Let's fast forward in a couple of laps. Spuds has actually been caught by Rosberg. He didn't seem to shake him. And Button has gotten past Hamilton. So you can see how close it is. All Button needs to do is get past these guys. You can see Spuds goes off the racing line to try and get them out of his slipstream. And it seems to have worked. They did not follow him. Still could be a bit of danger though down into turn 11. Let's see how it goes. They'll all have DRS apart from Spuds. Spuds does not have DRS, so Rosberg could be under threat. Button could make a move. No, he doesn't. Pretty tantalising stuff. All Spuds needs to do is stay ahead of Jensen, and it'll be fine. Bit of a lock up from Spuds there. Here's a tricky braking zone into turn 17. You need to have a good setup. You shouldn't be too hard on the brakes either. Rosberg comes into the pits. Spuds locks up on the final corner there. But let's get back to the action. Following Jensen down to the first corner there. You see just the gap between him and Spuds. He can see that championship ahead of him. But Jensen's got a lot of work to do at this stage of the race. Lap 22 of 28. 6 laps to go. Vettel up ahead in third. 2 Red Bulls out in the distance, first and second. Button needs to get a move on. And here he comes. He's going to try the outside on Spuds. Can he hold on? Spuds is going to lock up slightly. Oh, they almost touch. They touch again. Bit of argy-bargy going on here, but can you blame him? It's the title these two are fighting over. And 3 abreast as it come down to turn 11, but Spuds is out in front there. Thanks to that Mercedes of Hamilton. The 3 Brits going against each other in this final round. You see them all flying around there. Apologies for the frame rate. It's a bit rubbish. But I will fix that for the next game maybe. So they come round. Well, a bit of a very bad slide from Spuds there. That's got the Mercedes through. And they're still going at it, hammer and tongs here. This is going to be some fight. This may not be for the win, but it's a fight for the title. And Spuds goes up the inside, does he? Oh, he's looking at it. He was so close, but no cigar. Jensen hanging on to the back of Spuds. Is he going to make a move yet? No. Still more lockups from Spuds. He is feeling the pressure. There are so little laps to go now. Look at that crowd. Completely static. Unmoved. Don't know what's going on with the crowd, but never mind. DRS open on all of the cars. Spuds takes Hamilton. Can he make it stick though? Yes he can. He's got in front before the apex. Easily done. Now there's a Mercedes between the two McLarens. McLaren Mercedes sandwich. Oh, Button's going up the inside. He holds it. And now again, he is after Spuds. He is chasing that title with everything he has got. He's got the faster car. Apart from the one in front of him, who is pretty much identical. But he is the better driver around this track. He has got the faster tyres. He has got the momentum. He's got the slipstream. He's got everything working with him. Spuds needs to do everything in his power just to keep him behind. That's all he needs to do. He's very much aware the title is within his grasp. You can see Raikkonen just ahead there. Oh, it's Vettel. Sugar. It'll be easier to tell next season, I swear. Look how close these two are. From the very first race, you could see this rivalry was going to be brew all season, and it came down to the final race. Backwards and forwards it's gone like a pendulum, and they've both taken the same, well, pretty much the same amount of wins. Button is one down. If Button can somehow win today, they would be equal on wins. That's how even this pair have been. And Button's going to try and outbrake him around the outside. Again, they're going side by side into 8 and 9. Spuds is going to do the cutback. Yep, and it's easily done. That puts Button under pressure from Raikkonen. Now Raikkonen's getting involved. And Raikkonen has now put himself as the filling of this McLaren sandwich. And the frustration underneath that helmet must be untenable. The frustration for Button being held up this much when he knows he's got the faster pace. He knows he should have won today. He was on pole. He done everything he could. But it's not been quite enough. Clever strategy from Spuds' side of the garage. And some tactical moves have put Jensen on the back foot. Jensen is running out of time here. There are not many laps to go. He can see that title slipping away from him. He just needs to get past. And it may be too little too late. Oh shit. Apologies for the swearing there. I just can't keep my eyes off it. I mean, or can Jensen do it? Well, Raikkonen and Jensen will have DRS. Spuds will need to cover the inside line or something. Making his car as wide as possible. The Ferrari locks up, but stays ahead. Just keep watching this. On board with Jensen here. And he'll be sick of the sight of the backside of that Ferrari. They all take that corner pretty well as they go underneath the hotel. Oh no, Spuds goes wide. That will have cost him. That will compromise his entry down into turn 1 here. So it's not too bad. The fighting between Raikkonen and Button helping Spuds to not get overtaken just yet. But you can tell the two cars behind him are faster. Spuds covering the inside line here. Pulls it off pretty well. come round the hairpin again. The two cars behind him will be DRS. They are a lot closer this time round. Jensen looking to pick up the pieces. Raikkonen gets past Spuds. Spuds tries to cut back onto the inside line here. And they go around the corner. Oh, and they touch. They touch. Raikkonen hits the curb, hits Spuds, and then Jensen finds his opportunity to get past. And just like that, the two cars are switched around. But Spuds gets back in front of Raikkonen, but unfortunately it has let Jensen go. Lap 26 out of 28. Button has to get a move on. He is running out of time. It's a case of too little too late. Massive lock up from Spuds there as we come under the hotel for almost the last time. Button is not there. He just isn't. Button is going to fly off into the distance. He's going to try and catch Vettel if he can. But it's not going to be enough. Final lap of the race. Lap 28. Button is 4th. He needs to win. And all Spuds needs to do is just bring the car home. Because there are not enough points for Button to win that championship. Daniel Ricciardo has played a blinder of a race. He is coming through to take his 4th win of the season. See a Renault just going past there, but Daniel Ricciardo, what a man this guy has been this season. Picking up the pieces when the McLarens came together several times throughout the season. Ricciardo wins. Jensen Button, such heartbreak for him. His final race of his career comes through the final few corners knowing that the championship is not going to be his. Spuds needs to fall off the road for him to win this championship now. So that's Jensen across the line, and Spuds comes through to win the 2016 World Championship by the skin of his teeth. He has done it. And he does the celebratory donuts down on the stands here. He's one happy guy. Cannot quite believe it. It's been one monumental season. One monumental titanic battle between these two teammates. And he has finally done it. And a few celebrations there for Ricciardo. This big smile on the face. Daniel Ricciardo there under that helmet. And a fantastic 1-2 for the Red Bull team. Fantastic, absolutely wonderful day for them. But the main story, Love Spuds is world champion. Jensen Button a very close second. And there's the race standings. Ricciardo, Verstappen, Vettel on the podium. And then Jensen Button, Spuds finishing behind them. You have to say though that the way Jensen got held up in that race, that cost him the title. A very similar scenario as to what happened to Fernando Alonso all those years ago in Abu Dhabi, where he got held up by Petrov. That cost him the 2010 world title. So there we go. Love Spuds. You can see all the achievements coming up down there. Love Spuds finishes on 362. Jensen Button ends up 11 points behind on 351. And there's the rest of the standings for you. If anyone's interested in what everyone else has been up to this season, only Palmer, Nasser, Magnussen and Gutierrez not scoring a single point for the whole season. So Renaults and Saubers at the back. Haas have slipped back, but there you go. Confirmation again. McLaren Honda Constructors World Champions, their first title since 1998. This new McLaren Honda partnership, which isn't working in real life of course, a breath of fresh air, brings Honda back to their winning ways. Red Bull Racing second, an AC season to complete the standings, race wins and whatever through the whole season, and a total of 362 points there. You can see the driver position though. The bad results against Jensen in the previous races before the end of the season there, that's driven my position down to 1, and I'm not a bit far being fired by the team. But let's just finish on the celebration as ever. On the podium, Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. Thank you very much for joining me this season. I'm not sure when I'll be back, but I will be back. And I'll see you next time.